What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to do another trade recap on how we sniped a trade after a huge sell-off, which seems actually like that's all we keep doing here on these trade recaps. If my memory serves it correct, isn't all three trade recaps have done a big sell-off into a bounce or kind of big bounce to sell-off? Anyway, let's talk about it. The trade still actually still running. We have one little runner left and see. Hopefully, we get to see higher day on it. And let's break it down real quick. First to note, today was a pretty major day in the market because we had a Jackson Hole, not to be confused with Jackson Mahomes, but a Jackson Hole in Wyoming. Very big difference. So it's a big news event with a lot of news. That's why you see this big volatility here, big green into big red, and then back into big green. So we had to know for that. We traded news after it played out, and we traded after this big sell-off. We didn't catch any of the sell-off, but we did catch this huge bounce. It's still mooning off this key level right here that I had around 435. So let me show you guys what my idea was going into this trade. I'm gonna remove all my drawings per usual and then show you guys going into it. So going into it, I was mostly focused on a 15-minute time frame, and I wanted to see this lows right here, which is liquidity lows. And if you don't know what liquidity is, go watch my liquidity video, which I made a while back that you guys do watch. So I was when this lows to be taken out, and it bounced into this lows here. So these were the August lows, and this was the August lows as well. Wait, are they? Friday 18. Yep. Okay. There you go. So they're both August lows, but that's the ones I want to fucking see. This one get taken out, and then it bounced right into this area, which we did get, and then we do 15-minute confirmation. Again, this was a scary trade to take because you had a big sell-off, but what you had to know was that on this 15-minute, you created a fair value gap, which was meant to be filled. Fair value gaps are liquidity; they need to get filled. So that gives me, hey, you take out the sell side liquidity. Wait, I removed that, which was here. You bounced into the next one with the 15-minute confirmation closing above it, and then you take the trade. So we entered again. It was a somewhat of a risky trade because it was after a big sell-off on Newsday, but we entered right on this first green candle right here, and as you guys can see, you had a big move up. So now I want to talk about actually this big move up as potentially actually a better trade um, than the first one. So this one is somewhat of a risky trade. This one felt a lot easier to get in. I didn't add to my position, but looking back as I'm doing this trade recap, this was a really nice entry because you created a big displacement, right? You hit our level, you take out the sell side liquidity, you create a big displacement. And big displacement is what? It's anything that causes a big move towards one direction. So you see this big trend here? You had a big move up, a strong move to displaces this trend into the next trend, or you can call it break a structure, right? So if you draw a line here, you see obvious downtrend and then boom, big trend break. Now this causes a fair value gap. So the best allegedly not allegedly, fuck, I'm trying to think of a good word for it. Anyway, the best entry for this is technically a retest of the halfway point of the fair value gap with stop loss behind that low. So as you guys can see, it totally would have played out here. I just didn't take it because I actually had a better entry down here, but could have been a potential add-on for me. So anyway, we bounced into this next level here that I had around this 436.80 level. As you can see, we hit a profit target there, and then when I told the chat was getting scared, like, oh, maybe we're gonna go down after this second red candle here. It's, hey, as long as you hold this halfway point of this fair value gap here, there's no reason to sell this because it's still it's kind of doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is go up, then retest the level, and then go up again. As you guys can see, we held it the whole way through in a 5-minute closes. Everything was held. So we held strong until the next level, which was this bigger fair value gap here that we caused after the big sell-off news. So that was our next level, and we almost fully exited right here. So this was pretty much my target, was the halfway point. So we fully exited right here, holding only one run it potentially if we take out a higher day, or if we don't, whatever, we'll fucking close it in the green anyway. So that was kind of essentially what what I was looking for. You have to establish where's your liquidity. Once you take it out and you wick back above it, it's usually a pretty good sign to take the opposite trade, especially if you get this big displacement. If you're a beginner, you want to trade it very safely. My recommendation is to wait for this big displacement into this retest for the safest entry. All right. Now another reason I did not take this because we had this big displacement here on the downside. Actually on the smaller time frame, like a 3-minute, you see we had this big move up and this big red move down. So I was looking, let me remove this drawing. So I was actually looking for this trade earlier. We just never got it. So it would have been something like big displacement now. So I was hoping to get this and then right move down. I never got it. So whenever this happened here down here, I didn't want another occasion that I missed the trade on a nice little setup. So I just got in. But more often than not, as you guys can see here, you were gonna get this nice little retest into the liquidity, aka the fair value gap, and then more move higher. And essentially, pretty simple trade. I hope this makes sense for all you guys. And if you trade with me live every single day, we catch plays like this all the time. I'll leave the code down below. Let's do a fucking 50% off. If you want to join, we'll do code Apple. Apples. Regular Apple. I don't know, trading with code. Use code Apple. And other than that, as always, guys, peace out.